little bit more about your many of you have been following and working with UJV for quite some time. And as you know, we got our start in the Caribbean and Mexico, but we are really, really focusing in Europe. And Europe is one of our strongest product destinations. And we're going to do a deep dive on that today and then give a couple a little bit more updates. So allow me to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm David Solis. I have the pleasure of being the head of business development for UJV. I am located in New York City, so I do not live in sunny Florida, but I'm working with the entire business development team, which will give an update up on for that for everybody too. Here's a little bit of housekeeping. Just as Mariana mentioned, when we were coming in, we're going to have that Q&A, which if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them into that chat box, and they'll be able to answer those at the end of the webinar, which we'll take a look at that and answer those questions. We're going to talk about the Africa winner, right? As many of you might have joined us. We had an Africa webinar that was focused a couple months ago, and we had an incentive, and we're going to announce the winner of that incredible prize. We're then going to talk about the European challenge, right? So the incentive that we're doing for this webinar, which is of course based on Europe, and we're going to talk about where the lucky winner will go and a little bit more information there. We'll also give a business development update. So the team that I manage, we've been on the hiring move here at UJV. So I'm going to announce and introduce a few of our new directors that are based in different regions of the United States so that all of you can get to know them. Then we're going to chat about how UJV can help you. We're going to also chat with some of our European experts within the UJV reservation sales team, and they're going to give us some little hints and little pointers on how to maximize your clients' trips and then also your earning potential. And then just some tips that every travel advisor should know. So with that, we want to congratulate Antoinette Delio from Luxury Travel and Beyond in Los Angeles. She was the winner of the 10 nights in Africa. You might remember we had some 10 nights in both South Africa and Botswana, and we are providing her with $3,000 so that she can either use that for her airfare or maybe go some shopping when she's down in Africa. So congratulations, Antoinette. We are thrilled that you won. Thank you so much for all of those bookings. As a reminder, just as in Africa, and the same thing with Europe, every single booking that you make into that region, so for now for Europe, will count as an entry. So the more bookings that you do, the more chances that you have in winning when we draw that name later on. So we're back to Europe. Just as Antoinette won those 10 nights in Africa, there will be a lucky winner that will win 8 nights in Greece, plus $2,000 in an air credit or for shopping credit, as you'd like to do, starting today. So for every single booking that any one of you makes from May 15, which is today, up until June 15, will count as one entry into the contest. So sell away. The 8 nights are comprised of 6 nights in Mykonos and 2 nights in Santorini. So in Mykonos, we've got a couple partners with the Myconian collection. So you could do 3 nights in one hotel and 3 nights in the other. So a total of 8 nights in beautiful Greek islands. So just gives you a little bit of inspiration to be sitting in that little plunge pool and just overlooking the Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea right there. How do you win? I've discussed you've got to make some European bookings, but a little bit more details in order to do that. You've got to be attending the webinar now, or at least have registered for it. So we have a tally of who's done that. You got to follow us on Instagram, and this is very, very important. If any of you are not following us on Instagram, you have to. We actually, for the Africa webinar, did have another person that won, but they were not following us on Instagram, and we had to go to the next person. So make sure that all of you right now follow UJV at Ultimate Jet Vacations on Instagram. Then you've got to book Europe. We've talked about that the incentive happens from today up until June 15. So you've got 30 days to focus on any European booking, and it does not matter when your clients are traveling. It could be for next year. It doesn't matter. You just have to book it now between May 15th and June 15th. And then we will be announcing the winner on June 22nd. And we'll do that through our social channels. And then, of course, with some electronic marketing purposes that we'll have. With that, I want to introduce the business development team. So these are the individuals that I have the pleasure of collaborating with every single day. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see Kevin Parash. We know him as KP. He used to live in Miami, but he actually moved to Los Angeles at the beginning of last year, and he is now taking care of all of you that are on the west coast of the United States and the western edge of Canada. I know he was in Vancouver recently, so for those of you that are joining us from there, will have had the opportunity of meeting KP. I want to welcome Katie Lindblad. She's our Director of Business Development from the Southeast. She's based in the region and is already beginning to reach out to all of you. So if any of you are in the Georgia, Florida, Nashville area, Katie's the person that you'll be chatting with. And last but not least, we have Andrew Ryan, who is based out of New York as well. He's our Director of Business Development in the Northeast of the United States and Eastern Canada. So for those of you in Toronto, Montreal, New York, and all the way down to DC, Andrew will be your main point of contact. So we are welcome them to UJV, and they're excellent additions to our team so that we can better serve you as our customer. This is how we divide UJV in terms of our territory. So I know I was talking that Katie's part of the Southeast and KP's now on the West Coast. We can send this off to you, but this is sort of how we divide the US and Canada in terms of our geographical territories where you are located. So if you're in Kansas, you're dealing on the central region and you have the pleasure of working with me as I also actively sell within UJV. Now, what is it that UJV is here to do, right? We are the luxury travel advisor's right hand. I like to say that we're also kind of like your co-pilot, right? Or your silent collaborator, your silent assistants, because our mission or our goal is to enhance the experience of you booking travel as a luxury travel advisor. And a lot of times, many of you think of like, well, I can go to UJV for maybe just that one hotel booking. But did you know that we can also book villas for your clients? We can do the ones that are standalone, or many of those villas that are also part of the hotel chains that we work with. They've got, multi-unit rooms. So as you're beginning to think of festive and you've got all these client requests, think of UJV because we can definitely help you with that. We also can, of course, book some air for you. We've got some excellent air contracts you probably have on your own, but it doesn't hurt to ask to see what we've got going on because we also have some net rates in there, which can, of course, maximize your earning potential. And if any of your clients are looking for some private air travel, we, of course, can assist you with that. Hence our name, Ultimate Jet Vacations. We also offer cancel for any reason insurance. This is super important because we have no blackout dates on you able to purchase that insurance for your clients. We know that there's a lot of insurance provider out there and a lot of ways to fund that, but some of them have these blackout dates. And I think that the key takeaway today is to know that there's no blackout dates in terms of when we're able to sell that insurance for your clients. If you have any more questions on that, you can of course contact your dedicated reservation sales agent and we'll be able to walk you through that for you. We also have our incredible concierge services that is a huge addition to the team. And this is the team that really makes the magic happen because they're able to, of course, not only make all of the restaurant reservations, those spa reservations, but they can also offer any tickets for any special events. I know that a lot of you are seeing Madonna or Taylor Swift this summer, and so we can help you with those tickets as well. So it's just a matter of asking your reservation sales agent in order to add that on as a service to the trip. And we also, of course, do private transfers and those rail tickets. We know that sometimes booking those rail tickets in Europe can be a little complex, but you can also leave that to our team if you're working with us. So remember, we are here to enhance your experience of booking travel by doing it more efficiently, which means working with UJV, and then, of course, making more money, which we'll talk about that in just one second. We've got here the map of Europe, right? So we can show you some of the main destinations in Europe where we're operating, and we operate beautifully and can combine a lot of these services. So you see here that we do Spain, France, Italy, Montenegro, Iceland. I'm not going to name them all, but these are all destinations that I'm pretty sure that your clients are traveling to. So it gives you a good opportunity to not only think of us as a one-stop shop for maybe one destination, but if you want to do a complex European itinerary, your clients are traveling to Italy and they're going to France and they're also going to London, you can come to one person. Many of you have had long-standing relationships with DMCs that you're maybe working for 10, 15, 20 years. But if you have a three-step itinerary that I just mentioned, you're probably trying to work with three or four different vendors. If you're coming to UJV, it's all done under one house. It's a one-stop shop, and we'll be able to assist you with all of these destinations and at the same time be able to turn things around for you in a much quicker and efficient way. And why is that important? Because you're able to get the information quicker to your clients. Any changes that they might come around, we're able to confirm those very, very quickly too, and be able to maximize how you're working and for you to focus on other things if you'd like. So, what is it that we can do throughout Europe, right? So, as we've discussed, we can do a lot of those rail tickets, those private luxury transfers, not only from the airport to the hotel, but if they're, going on some wine region somewhere around Europe, they're going to obviously want their car and driver as well. We also have the exclusivity to sell Belmont trains, which I think is very important for you to keep in mind, as they've got these wonderful trains that they're featuring now throughout Europe. We can do helicopter transfers. We could do all of these ferry tickets. We have all of the guides that, of course, can be done in English. We do the VIP meet and greets, all these yacht charters. So again, you can think of UJV as your one-stop shop. Whenever you're thinking in Europe or any of the destinations that we operate, we can provide you these services. Alongside with our concierge team that co-collaborates with you and makes sure that you have the latest and greatest in the restaurant reservations or any event tickets. And then, of course, can assist you in booking all those spa appointments or any special celebrations. And I know that a lot of my colleagues are going to talk about some of those surprises and delights that they've been doing with your clients just very, very quickly. So, the benefits of working with UJV. Again, why am I going to work with you versus the people that I've worked with, for 20 years? Well, we're your one-stop shop for everything, right? You've got a dedicated travel advisor that is going to be working and collaborating with you, not only for that one booking, for any subsequent booking that you might have with us. We're not a call center, right? So you're not calling an 800 number and then getting some random person for one or clicking for two. You have that relationship, and that's why that matchmaking process is so important, for us, because we need to make sure that we are assigning you somebody within our team that works in the same manner as you do. A lot of you like to speak on the phone quite a bit. So why am I going to put you with somebody in our team that might only want to do email or vice versa? Or maybe the way that you're working or how you like something. These are all things that you're going to talk to myself and the business development team that we're going to find out more about you so we can make that more of that perfect match. We also, of course, are going to be providing you with these detailed itineraries that just have all of this information. It's all white labeled and ready for you to just push out. So if you're at like your son's or daughter's soccer game, or you're maybe running around, or you're traveling on the fam, your silent collaborator, your co-pilot is the one that's going to be able to do all of this work for you and have it done with your agency name or you're doing business as, and also your name. So you're able to literally just push that off to your clients and it's seamless and you're not worrying about all of those pieces because you've got your UJV team behind you. We talked about the access to our concierge team. This falls into play once you're working with us with one of the hotel's bookings. We can add all of these services for you at no additional cost. And your dedicated UJV travel advisors can also let you know for some of them where you're also making more money, because sometimes these are also commissionable. So in your dashboard, you'll be able to see how much money you're making for every single booking. And that's what I was talking about, working more efficiently and also maximizing your earning potential. And just as we talked about, this is all about the efficiency. So when you are working with us, you're not having to try to figure out, like if you're trying to book a restaurant reservation or VIPing on yourself, UJV does all of this with you always in copy so that you can also make any final changes and help out. And then because your clients are traveling all the time and also you're traveling, UJV is a 24/7 operation. So we've got 24-hour support in case of any changes or cancellations or anything like that. There's always a way to be able to get a hold of somebody at UJV. Now, let's really focus in on that European dream team. We do have a lot of reservation sales agents that, obviously sell a lot of our product regions around the world, but we have some that we're featuring today that live and breathe Europe. They've either lived there or they've traveled extensively on there, or they've been selling Europe for a long, long time. So with that, let me introduce my colleague and friend, Sibel. Sibel, take it away.
Thank you, David. Hi, everyone. So my name is Sibel. I'm a travel advisor here at UJV. I'm originally from Brazil, and I have traveled to 40 countries, and a lot of those countries in Europe. So I always try to incorporate one of my passions when choosing my next travel destination. And I feel that Europe is perfect to incorporate fashion, art, and wellness. There's really so much to do, and it gives you so many options for me when going on vacation. So one of my favorites, I have to say. Now I'll pass it over to my colleague, Connie.
Hello, thank you, Sabal. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to have many of you interested in our Europe program. I'm Connie Tracy, and I love Europe. I especially love Italy, which is one of my favorite places. And I also enjoy cooking. If you can hear my dog, I apologize because he's don't know what he's doing. But anyway, I enjoy cooking. I love, especially, of course, Italian food. And then the best part is reading and researching. I love to research new experiences and new places, especially those that are off the beaten path, because then I can relay those to you and, afford the clients something extra special while they're traveling. So now on to my colleague, Isis.
Thank you, Connie. Hi, everyone. My name is Isis Vasquez. I am from Colombia, and I'm currently located in the beautiful city of Cartagena. I've been in this industry since I was 19 years old, and that's why I feel so honored and blessed to be working for a company that takes luxury to another level. Like every day is a new experience. Every day we learn something new. So it's really, really nice. Here at UJV, I am an advisor support, especially Connie's advisor support. Most of you already know me because we speak through email every day. So, but for those who don't know me as the advisor supports, we basically do that, support you, like in anything you might need to, I don't know, enhance your client's experience in the destination they are going. We can help from transfers, dinner reservations, recommendations, excursions, other activities, fast tracks, transfers. We can help from anything, you just name it. For example, if you have some clients and you want to do something special on your end, like sending a welcome amenity with a note from your end, we can take care of that as well. For example, if the clients, they want to spend an afternoon in the beautiful Santorini, in the beautiful Santorini, we can take care of that as well. Or if they want to go to Paros and spend the whole day in Antiparos in the boat, just snorkeling or just playing in the boat, we take care of that for you. So please reach out to us because we are the advisor supports. We are here for that, just to support you, to make your life easier. So take advantage of us. Thank you. And now I'm going to pass you to my dear colleague, Connie, again. Thank you.
Now this is Sabel's.
No, this was Isis. So you're next. Yep.
Oh, I don't see the slide. I don't see the slide. Okay, so let's talk about setting expectations and experiences for your client. So when I get a request from you, I look it over and I want to know a couple of things. The first thing I want to know, is there a budget in place? Because I try to be extremely respectful of the client's budget, finding them those opportunities and those hotels that fit within their budget and still making it a fantastic vacation. And then the second thing I want to know is, like, what does your client want to do? What do they want to get out of this vacation? Do they want to visit museums? Is it cultural? Is it food? What is it? And once I have those items listed in my head, then I start working on your client's vacation. As you know, UJV, we have an extremely amazing portfolio of 5-star luxury hotels, but we also have a few of those lesser priced hotels that are actually hidden gems. So once again, we will use those to fit inside your client's budget. Also, comfort is a luxury. Us Americans, we don't do well in those teensy little Italian rooms, Spanish rooms, Greek rooms. So what we do here is, once again, staying within the client's expectations, we try and do the largest rooms that are the most comfortable and that make the most sense view-wise and location-wise in the country that they're going to. Once the hotel is all set up and ready to go, all the hotels are in place, then I start to basically work on transportation and experiences. And here at UJV, we offer private transportation that have brand new vehicles, and also we make sure that the vehicles fit the amount of people that are traveling plus their luggage. I think sometimes we forget that luggage is important. And especially, we do a lot of pre and post cruises. So those people take a lot of luggage, and we have to find the appropriate vehicle for them. Also, one thing to remember is that a driver or transfer driver, technically, that's what he is. He's a driver. He is not a guide. Guides need to go to school. They need to take classes. They need to pass strict, strict tests to make sure that they earn the guide designation. And that's what you will see when we provide you with a guide. They are the utmost perfect people to guide the client on that experience that they're choosing. So occasionally you will see on your itinerary that we list a driver guide. If that's the case, then that driver is also a certified guide. So you get a 2-for-1 in those instances. So after all that is set, then we fill in the booking. We fill it with, do we need air? Do we need those rail tickets? Do we need a ferry? Do we need a boat transfer? What else do we need to fill in all the little holes to make it one perfect itinerary? And at that point, we also start to look at the excursions and fill those in. But we like to fill in excursions, but also not overwhelm the itinerary. Like 5 excursions in one day. We want something in the morning, something in the afternoon, then the pre-evening, then evening. That's just crazy. So we like to leave a little bit of downtime for the client to take in the location that they're experiencing and that they've paid good money for. Unless they want to do something every minute of the day, we can do that too. But once again, we're respectful of making this a very seamless and awesome vacation. And now over to you, Sibel.
Thank you so much, Connie. So I'm going to talk about understanding European availability, because what we need to understand in Europe is that the hotels tend to fill up very quickly, especially during peak seasons or any major events. So the earlier we start the process of choosing a room, the better selection of accommodations your clients would have. And especially when we talk about families, connecting rooms, one thing we need to keep in mind is the European room sizes. Connie talked a little bit about it, right? Comfort, you want to be comfortable when you're on vacation. So you might have a hotel building from the 1800s in Europe with less than 40 rooms, and the rooms might be very, very small. So when you talk to your clients about choosing one of the rooms in Europe, try to get them to go at least 3 or 4 categories higher from the leading category, just to give them a little more space. So again, for families, if they need a connecting room, there's only a limited number of rooms that do connect in Europe, what they call sometimes family rooms. So the earlier they start working on those bookings, the more options they would have. And again, the entry level categories sometimes are too small, and they wouldn't even allow for a rollaway bed if that's what they wish to do. So, maybe 3 categories up, you might have a entry level category that's called superior, but it's actually not that superior. So the other thing is you need to ensure the international flights are aligned with your client's arrival and departure dates, because sometimes if they leave the US today, they might not arrive in Europe until the next day. So if we have the correct dates, it prevents us just from having to make any changes, and that would impact availability of those rooms. And just to close us off, the sooner the clients start planning for Europe, the more options they have and better set up you are to start working with our advisor support team and start adding all those amazing experiences to make an unforgettable itinerary for your clients. And if you're not familiar with Europe, or even if you are, you can always reach out to me or any of the advisors here at UJV, and we would guide you on planning the perfect European itinerary for your clients.
Thank you
Now
so
back
much.
to David.
Thank you. Thank you, Sibel. You're absolutely right about the European room sizes. As many of you know, I'm a really big guy and I just don't fit anywhere. So I usually have to try to get into a higher level room category just because of my size. So something good to keep in mind with. Thanks a lot. So in terms of talking about sort of the new hotels, we've got a pretty robust product portfolio of properties around the world. And many of you know, you can find that in our website. There's a link in there that takes you, and it's a live active document that pops out. So you should just always bookmark that page because that document is constantly changing. But right now, we're just going to visually feature some of the new product that we just brought on board since the beginning of the year for Europe. And as you can see, we've got new products in England, of course, in Greece, Italy, and France. We also have some new beautiful hotels in Portugal and Spain and in Italy as well. So definitely a lot of changes for you to be able to keep top of mind as you're planning the trips for your clients into Europe moving forward. Here's where you show you where do we access that. So you take a look at our website and you see there exactly where you can search for all of our portfolio, either by region. As you can see there, you clicked on Europe and then it shows you by the specific countries that where you have. And once you click on that Learn More tab, it'll bring up more of that information. So again, it's under the Destination Hotels tab, opens up the regions for you, and then you're able to click in specifically in that region per country. So very easy for you to take a look at. Again, if you have that multi-step itinerary that your clients are looking for, you could see all of the different areas that we can assist you with. And then in terms of a lot of the exclusive offers, it also shows you that page where you have any exclusive offers that we might be featuring at any specific hotel or destination. It's also in that same page within our web page. So be able to take a look at that and, again, take a look at that for yourself in our webpage. In terms of the exclusive amenities, these are just some of the areas and/or hotels where we have UJV exclusive amenities, where we're able to offer and surprise and delight even more amenities than you would normally get on your own, even though you're part of a consortia. So just for you to take a look at, in England and Greece and Italy and in France, and again, of course, Spain and in Italy, where you just have an added on exclusive amenity that you'll be working from, obtaining from UJV. So what is it that we're all interested in? Is it those 8 nights in Greece and that $2,000 airfare credit? So again, remember, you've got to follow UJV on social media. You've got to, of course, be present or at least have registered for this webinar. And every sale that you make between today into Europe and June 15th, so you've got 30 days to sell, will be one entry into the drawing that we'll do on June 22nd. And you'll have the opportunity of spending 6 nights in Mykonos and 2 nights in Santorini on our behalf, and as a reward for selling Europe with UJV. So book Europe, and you're like, well, how do I do that? So if you're already working with us, go to your dedicated travel advisor. If you are not working with us, that's when you reach out to us. Because remember, I talked about that matchmaking. This is not a call center situation, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to make sure that we're matching you to the appropriate UJV advisor so that we can establish a personal relationship moving forward. So you can either do it on the website, you can send an email there to bd@ultimatejetvacations.com. We'll be able to grasp that for you, contact you, and get you along your way. So with that, last but not least, I want to thank not only my colleagues, but also all of you that spent some time with us. And now we go over to the questions and answers, which I'm happy to take on.
Thank you so much, David. That was an amazing presentation. And we have several questions and comments. So we'll start with Antoniette, who wants to say thank you so much. She's very excited and how much she loves UJV.
We're so happy for her because she won the 10 nights in Africa. So again, thank you so much for making those Africa bookings. And then the next webinar, we're going to be congratulating the European winner as well. Antoinette, you can also win if you're selling some Europe with us. You remember every booking is an entry for the raffle.
Love it. She also says Kevin is the best.
We like KP, yes.
We have another comment from Jen. We just had lunch with Katie last week in Charleston.
Yes, Katie Lindblad. So I'm so glad that she was able to get together with some of the agents that are there locally in the town that she's living. So thank you for accepting that invitation, and we look forward to seeing some business from you guys as well.
Thank you. We have a question from Anna Harrison. Is there a minimum spend to book ferries in Greece and Italy and trains in Europe in general? Or are we able to add this as long as we've booked hotel through UJV?
Thank you. That's an excellent question. So no minimum spend, but you do have to book a hotel with us in order for us to be able to assist you with any of the services. So as long as you're booking 1 or 2 hotels in that, we're obviously able to assist you with the services surrounding that hotel booking.
Thank you. We have a comment from Antoniette Delio. Connie is my perfect match. She is the best.
Thank you. I know that Connie's on the line. I would appreciate hearing that. Yes, this is really so important because as I talked to you about, the matchmaking is so important. We're not a call center. So we want to make sure that we are matching you as the advisor in the way that you work with somebody within our team that's going to be able to best collaborate with you, not only for this booking, but for any bookings in the future. So reach out to us, or if you're working with us and you feel that you don't have that synergy, that's exactly what we're here for. We're here to make sure that you're well taken care of and that you're jamming or vibing with the UJV reservation sales team.
On that note, we have a comment from Anna Harrison. I have to share that I was able to do a great booking with UJV when I was technically on maternity leave. I literally copy and paste the request from the client and sent to my wonderful Andrea. She sent back a proposal and the client booked immediately. The client thought I was working with a 3-week-old, but really UJV did all the work. A great partnership.
Thank you for that. Exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the call. We are your co-pilot, your silent collaborator, any way that you want to label us. But this allows you to have just more time to yourself, whether you have a 3-week-old or you're at the soccer game or you're traveling. Rely on us so that we can co-collaborate with you on all of these bookings and make you look like a star.
We have a great question from Ali. How many Europe destination team members are there? What's the best way to connect with one of them if we work with someone for US Caribbean?
Excellent question. So our reservation sales team is made up of about 25 or 26 team members, and they are all versed in all of the regions except Africa. Many of you remember from the last webinar that we have a separate Africa team. But if you're already working with somebody for Mexico or the Caribbean as an example, they're well trained and well versed on Europe. The ladies that we featured here today were just some snippets, some examples of the team members that we work on. We just unfortunately didn't have time to feature everybody, but we will in future webinars. But that individual that you're tied to in there can definitely assist you with those European itineraries.
We have 3 questions from Autumn Wellborn. Do you have options? First one, do you have options beyond what is listed in the portfolio? David mentioned villas.
Yes. So we, of course, don't list all of those private villas that we work with, in many different parts, either the Caribbean or other parts of the world. But if you are needing something, you can always reach out to us or your dedicated advisor and say, hey, I've got a family or a group of friends that needs a villa. Do you have villas in this space? And they'll be able to let you know very quickly. Our product portfolio only shows the hotels that we are contracted with around the world. But there are a lot of villas, as I mentioned, that are both part of hotels or standalones that we work with or have access to. So it's just a matter of asking right away.
Thank you. On that note, the second question, can we assume for planning purposes that rates will be at or similar to bar?
Yes, excellent question as well. I don't know if it's from Autumn as well, but absolutely. Not only the rates, but also the terms and conditions. So I know that a lot of other operators don't operate this way, but with UJV, it's the same rate. And whatever, as an example, that hotel's website is saying in terms of a cancellation policy or a deposit policy, that's what we follow. Because otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for you to be able to talk to your clients and let them know that you're working with a trusted partner like UJV to be able to get the best access and have the best experience for them. If all of a sudden we require a 60-day deposit and the hotel does it in 30 days, that does not make sense. So you can sleep soundly and know that whatever is displayed on the website is what we're going to be offering to you and your clients.
Thank you, David. Also a question from Autumn. Are Virtuoso amenities generally still able to pass through?
Yes, absolutely. Not only Virtuoso, for those of you that might be part of any of the other luxury consortia like Signature, Ensemble, Serendipians, absolutely. For the 99.5% of the time, all those amenities will be able to be passed through because, again, we recognize you as the travel advisor. So it's not UJV doing this. It's whatever partner we're contracting with that's recognizing you and your luxury consortia, and we'll be able to provide that. In the case that does not happen, we will communicate with you, and then we might have some options for you to be able to present what might be important for your clients if they're expecting something. But it's always a conversation, and that's why that match is so important, so that you can have that back and forth with your dedicated UJV travel advisor.
Love it. And we have a question from Paige. Hi, will you be adding any hotels in Scotland, Ireland, or more in other parts of England in the future?
Yes. So our product portfolio continues to evolve. And that's why I was mentioning as well. If you print that sheet out, it becomes obsolete fairly quickly. And we just featured all of the new hotels that we added in Europe since the beginning of the year. And you saw it was a couple slides. So we're constantly adding new product and we are expanding in Europe. And so I know that with Ireland, we don't have any product now, but we're in active conversations for that region and then others. So stay tuned. And we'll, of course, be making announcements either in our electronic communications or in our social channels. So if you're following us on Instagram, you'll find out first when we open up Ireland as a product region.
Thank you. We have another question from Karen. Generally, are your hotel partners all 5 stars, or do you also contract with 4-star properties?
That's an excellent question. And I'm going to take this more like thinking about Europe, right? UJV is, we only really work with 5-star, very high service products around the world. We do have a collection of what they might designate themselves as 4 stars, but they've been truly, truly vetted as they're operating as 5 stars, right? And so a lot of times, as we know, there's very limited number of rooms in some of these properties and maybe a specific destination. So we need to be able to have a little bit more product right outside of that like true 5-star space. So we only feature what we're selling in 5-star in our product portfolio, but we might have a couple here and there that will still be providing an excellent experience, even though they might not be designated as like true 5 stars. But that's a question for you to always ask in terms of with your dedicated travel advisor.
Thank you. And we have a question from Brad James. Will you be expanding your Asia portfolio?
We are. And I know that Asia is very important for Brad and also for individuals that are in the Vancouver area for obvious reasons. But we are. However, we are focusing on Europe right now. So we want to make sure that Europe is fully, completely built out while we, begin to devote a lot of resources in Asia. We do have an Asian portfolio that is growing, but we are focusing a little bit more on Europe at this time.
Thank you. And we have another comment from Antoniette Delio. UJV also VIPs your clients. Taking that off my plate, and many of my clients have been upgraded as a result of your relationship with the hotels.
Yes, that is correct. So we not only advise the hotels that who we're working with, as this example with Antoinette, but we also send VIP emails on her behalf with her in copy, right? So for those of you that've got multiple bookings or a lot of departures, this is just some extra time. And I know that probably many of you still do it, but if you're in copy, you know that it's coming and it's going to those same people, you can just basically reply on there or know that it's been handled. And so that's why the more information that you can provide to your dedicated UJV travel advisor, the better we're going to be able to service you and your clients. But absolutely, we VIP for you.
Thank you. And we have another comment from Gina Marion. So hotel cancel terms are the same as online. That's terrific.
Yes. The same thing. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And it's harder for you to explain. And they're like, well, why are you asking me for a deposit 30 days out? No. Whatever is on the hotel's page, that's what we abide by. That's what's communicated. And it's also the same price.
Thank you. And then we have a comment from Jen. I'm happy to see Melini on the list for Rome. And that is a solid 4-star choice for some of our families who'd rather splurge on the coast.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of some of these products that we have that are not maybe true 5-star, but that still provide an excellent service, right? So we have these sprinkled around throughout most of the world that we operate. But again, think of UJV as a luxury 5-star operator.
We have a great question from Ali. With Europe destinations, is there a set percentage of commission, or are you able to provide net pricing and add in whatever commission we would like?
This is an excellent question, and I'm glad that it was brought up. This is something that I normally hear outside of the United States. So as a standard across the world, we operate at 15% commission, right? So you know that anything that you're booking with us, at UJV is going to be at 15%. However, many of you might want to be provided everything on a net rate basis so that then you can build that up. We can, of course, do that. So it's really just a matter of you asking it, whether you want it to be presented in a commissionable basis or if you want it to be presented in a net rate basis. So absolutely, we can work with you in any which way.
Thank you. We have another question from Ali. What kind of emergency assistance do you offer in Europe for clients who are traveling?
It's a great question. So because we work with all of our partners, in Europe, right, or any of the other area destinations, with the time difference, should there be any changes or cancellations or whatever that might be, our on-the-ground partners are letting us know of that. So a lot of times by the time that you wake up, it's either been handled or taken care of, and we're advising you of whatever happened, right? So we are obviously monitoring all of the bookings that we send across the world, all the time.
And we have another question from Adam regarding that. Does that commission rate include services in Europe?
Great question. So I believe that I did mention this on the webinar, but I'll clarify it. So on the hotel portion, it's 15%. On the services, it's usually not 15. It can be anywhere between 8, 10, some 12. But again, on your dashboard, you'll be able to see if like a specific service or a specific activity that your clients are doing might be commissionable at 10 or maybe at 8, so that then you can figure out what your total earning on that booking is. The 15% for the hotel portion, and then the services will vary, but we'll let you know what they're commissionable at.
Thank you. And then we have a question from Gina Marion. Is Africa 15%? As last year it was not.
That is great. I'm glad that Gina brought that up. So it is. Africa is at 15% across the board as well. I know that last year there were a couple of the areas that maybe were not being commissioned, at that same level, but that we have that consistency across the board now. So it's 15% across the board with our commissions on the hotel portions.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments, concerns?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Speaking, you always have your UJV designated agent to ask more questions. The BD team is always there for you as well. So please feel free to reach out at any time. And we have another question from Brad James. Does UJV do private yachts?
We certainly can. Yeah, we do them, of course, in the Caribbean and in Europe. So if there is somebody that's looking for that type of experience, it's just a matter of coordinating that. So we could definitely take care of that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Awesome. I think we are good to go. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the webinar. And thank you so much, David, Connie, Sibel, Isis, for such a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, everybody. Remember, follow UJV on the social channel and Sell Europe between May 15, which is today, and June 15. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.